The proceeding was a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
The Christopher Show takes over KMET Saturdays from noon till 1. Tune in for a brash, honest talk that takes you to a new level. The Christopher Show will wake you up and open your eyes to what's really going on in the Inland Empire and beyond. That's The Christopher Show Saturdays from noon till 1 p.m. Check out The Christopher Show at Facebook and leave your comments.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
1490 AM Smart Talk Radio KMET. Banning, Beaumont, and Redlands. 1490 AM Radio.
From ABC News, I'm Daria Albinger. As Israel continues its ground offensive, the White House is taking steps to keep civilians out of harm's way.
The White House said Tuesday that 66 trucks carrying food, water, and medicine made their way into Gaza over the last 24 hours. But National Security spokesman John Kirby said there is one critical thing missing: fuel.
No fuel has gotten in, and the existing stocks are dang near down to zero, and that's perilous here for the hospitals, for the water pumps, and so we're working hard with Israel to make sure we can find some accommodations to get fuel in.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
The Gaza Health Ministry, which is run by Hamas, says 52 Palestinians were killed in an IDF strike on the Jabalia refugee camp. The IDF says a Hamas leader was killed in the strike. The Pentagon is preparing to send another 300 U.S. service members to the Middle East, but they will not go into Israel.
These additional troops will provide capabilities and explosive ordnance disposal, communications, and other support enablers for forces already in the region.
Spokesman Brigadier General Pat Ryder. President Biden's plan to eliminate junk fees is focusing on retirement plan providers.
Junk fees take real money out of pockets of Americans, and they add up to hundreds of dollars and weighing down family budgets and making it harder to pay the bills.
He's proposing rules that would limit providers to sell only products that are in the customer's best interests. A Missouri appeals court's tossed out summaries of abortion rights ballot measures, which were written by Republican Secretary of State Jay Ashcroft, describing them as potentially partisan. If the trick-or-treaters haven't shown up at your place yet, they probably will soon. Or maybe you're at a Halloween parade like the one in New York City, where this family is dressed up like the Addams Family.
My 13-year-old had to be bribed. She'll be here in a little bit, and she is she's Uncle Fester.
And for $88 million under freeze warnings, that costume includes a coat. You're listening to ABC News.
Some days I cover up because of my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis.
From the KMET Weather Center, there's a wind advisory for canyons and passes till 8 p.m. Beaumont planning in the pass area this afternoon is going to be sunny and windy with blowing dust, the high 76, winds gusting to 55 miles per hour. Clear and breezy tonight, low 60, sunny and breezy Wednesday. For the Inland Empire this afternoon, we'll have sunshine, high 82. The Desert City's plenty of sunshine, high 84. I'm meteorologist Jim Rinaldi for Smart Talk 1490. KMET.
Your health is the number one priority at Hemet Family Clinic. Dr. Peter Hine is a graduate of UCLA Medical School and a U.S. veteran recipient of 2 Purple Hearts. Dr. Hine has been practicing medicine for over 35 years. If you have high blood pressure, diabetes, or any other age-related ailment, log on to HemetFamilyClinic.com today. Medicare and other medical insurances are accepted. If you are sick, Dr. Hine can see you the same day at Hemet Family Clinic. Log on today to HemetFamilyClinic.com.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
Welcome to KMET 1490 AM ABC News Radio and the Southern California Business Report with Yvette Walker, a show dedicated to highlighting successful Southern California businesses and the people behind them.
Welcome and thank you for joining Southern California Business Report on ABC News and Talks, KMET 1490 AM, 98.1 FM, and KMET TV. I'm Yvette Walker, live blasting our signal from the center of Southern California, serving a population of over 25 million. Get us crystal clear and on demand by downloading the free live streaming app on Google Play and the Apple App Store. As always, a huge shout out to the team, Mitch, Bill, and Sean. I love you guys, and to our special advisory committee that can be found at www.scbrtalk.com/advisory committee. Check them out and learn about all these amazing leaders in our region. All right, everybody, today I have the incredible honor of introducing Mr. Garner Holt of Garner Holt Productions, the founder and president of Garner Holt Productions. Garner started Garner Holt Productions at age 16 in his parents' garage while still in high school. Garner Holt Productions is now the world's largest designer and builder of animatronics and other elements for theme parks, attractions, museums, and more. All from its 120,000 square foot Redlands, California headquarters in 34 countries on 6 continents. Garner Holt Productions' work is nearly 5,000 animatronic figures created for Disney, Universal Studios, Mattel, Chuck E. Cheese, Warner Brothers, Lockheed-Martin, Salesforce, Nike, Coca-Cola, and dozens more. Garner is the world's leading authority on animatronics and won the 2015 Harrison Buzz Prize Thea Award for a lifetime achievement from the Themed Entertainment Association, among more than 24 other Theas. Thank you so much for being with us today, Garner.
I'm really pleased to be here, and happy Halloween to you.
Happy Halloween.
Glad to have you in our shop.
Beautiful. Well, I can think of a better backdrop to enjoy this beautiful Halloween and this incredible workshop that you have here. As you know, the first question I ask each and one of my guests is to please share what inspired you to pursue the development and engineering of animatronics and the founding of Garner Holt Productions.
Well, it's a long story. We've been around for 46 years now since I started in the garage, and actually, to say the story in a nutshell, I was basically born into what I call a horse family. My parents had horses. My uncles had horses. My uncle was a champion roper in the rodeos, and my other uncle had a riding stable. So I was on the back of a horse literally since I was about 2 months old until about 10 years old. And my parents wanted me to be a veterinarian, because that's what if your kid's a veterinarian in a horse family, then you've got everything. So, but I would come home and watch monster movies and the Munsters, and I would watch TV in the evenings and Saturday night. And one special night I saw on Disney, I saw something about a place called the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland. And I ran into my parents' room and begged them to take me to this haunted mansion, and they finally relented, took me to Disneyland. That was their fatal mistake, because I told them on the way home, I said, Mom and Dad, I don't want to be a veterinarian. I want to build the things at Disneyland. And, so something must have clicked, because they let me kind of go my own way a bit. And eventually I think they relented. And 46 years later, now we build the things at the theme parks all over the world.
Oh my gosh, what a wonderful story. Please talk about those early years with your time in the garage at your parents' house.
Well, people always say, did you start out, did you have, some sort of a degree, or did you, get into it? I basically, was in high school, and I started out building things in the garage with string and wood and hinges and things like that. And I learned a lot by failing, because things you put together don't work, and you figure out why don't they work, and then you fix it and you go on to the rest of it, go on the direction you're headed. So there's a lot of trial and error, and I built a little haunted house in the backyard, trying to emulate Disney's Haunted Mansion in a kid's way, and a lot of different effects and things. And I started getting attention in the newspapers and started building them for malls throughout Southern California. It started to And I was building haunted houses in malls before I could even drive. So I was like 16 to turn 16, and while I was building them, and so that was the very early beginnings. It was kind of a haunt type thing, and appropriate. We're in Halloween right now.
That's right. Perfect timing. Full circle moment, right?
Yeah.
Garner, please talk about your first successful project and how that motivated you to move forward and continue despite, I'm sure those multiple setbacks and learning opportunities.
Yeah, so I struggled a long time. People are so used to hearing about instant success and instant millionaires and things. I struggled for a long time. I eventually moved out of the garage into a small shop. I would do things for malls, Christmas displays, haunted houses, that type of thing. And I was the only employee. I literally slept on the floor in a sleeping bag in my first building for 10 years. And I had people come in, and all my friends, they would come in and work. I couldn't pay them, so they'd work for pizza or whatever. And, so I ended up I decided in order to get into the business, I needed to do something that nobody had ever seen. So I invented a character called Wendell, the unicyclist, and it's an animatronic figure that rides a unicycle with no visible means of support. And that got me my first theme park job. I was able to get it in front of the film of it in front of Fred Benninger, who was building the MGM Grand Hotel in Vegas, and they had a theme park back in those days there, a small park. And he said, if you can build that, you can build the figures for our park. So that was the beginning of it all. That was my first theme park job.
Well, that is incredible. Please talk a little bit about the process for building animatronics. I can imagine a variety of different areas that it covers.
Yeah, our building here is quite an amazing place. We literally have about 50 different careers under one roof. Everything from the business and accounting and budgeting and that type of thing, all the way through the conceptual art, CG, modeling, graphics, all the way up through sculpture, through development of figures, goes through plastics and develops the skins and the faces and the body shells, and it could be anything from we built figures, anything from a 2-inch garden slug that's animated all the way up to full-size dinosaurs, humans, that type of thing. They go into mechanical for the structures, mechanical and electronics, computerized characters, motion control, different actuation, pneumatics, hydraulics, motors. They end up in costuming department and makeup and figure finishing with hair and claws and eyes and teeth and all kinds of different body parts, and then programming and sound and voiceover work and script writing and storytelling that goes involved. And then we build sets and scenery. If you go to a theme park attraction, you see figures in rocks or trees or caves or water. So we do special effects. We make scenery. So really anything that you would see in a ride or an attraction at any major theme park, we build, and probably have built a lot of what you've seen.
Wow, everything from accounting to water pumps and coding and all the great things in between. Oh my goodness, remarkable. Please talk about the way Garner Holt Productions is working with schools today.
Well, when I started my business, I got in my first building. I would be building things, crazy things, unicycle rider and dinosaurs or, whatever. Everybody wanted to know what was going on inside that building. Kids always wanted to come in, they tours. I never said no to tours. I always let people come in and, Cub Scouts and Boy Scouts and college kids and doctors and lawyers and any kind of group. And they always wanted to see what we're doing. And I always used to see them walk out of here with a smile on their face. They'd say, well, I want to work here someday. I don't want to be a dentist anymore. I want to work here and build dinosaurs, And they would say, how do you get to work here? And, that type of thing. And so I always saw them leave with a spark in their smile that kind of like I think I felt when I left Disneyland that first day. And, I thought to myself, there's something to this. And as time went on, we developed, 4 or 5 years ago, a thing called Garner Holt Education Through Imagination. And we do a lot of teaching kids STEM and STEAM through the use of animatronics and incorporating an entire classroom of kids, Some do the arts, some do the mechanical, some do the electronics, some do the coding. And there's about 20 or 25 different career paths they learn in a classroom. And we're providing that to schools as we speak.
That is remarkable. And, having the opportunity to kind of take a look at what you have around here, it's not a stretch to see or imagine the leap from animatronics to robotics. So talk a little bit about how far is that leap to make it, from an animatronic to an actual robotic? Yes.
Well, robots are here to stay, and they're out there in the world right now. And, the animatronics we were doing years ago, I think we're kind of a forerunner of the robots today, humanoid robotics, that type of thing. And we have some things that are still better than anything you've seen on YouTube or anything. I think the big issue is that the kids are going to be standing next to these things in the workplace in the future. They have to have they're going to be able to build them and design them and code them and program them and do anything that's necessary on a robot. You're going to be standing next to them in a workplace within a couple of years. Even right now, Teslas, for instance, are robots on wheels, and people are letting robots drive them around. So the thing about teaching animatronics is there's a piece of it that is very robotic in the mechanics and electronics, and when kids learn that through STEM and STEAM in our projects, they have a core basic knowledge of robotics to begin with. So the animatronics helps them learn that.
I love that, and when you hear animatronics, the idea of engineering and coding kind of is the first thing to mind, right? But please talk about the importance of the arts in the field of animatronics.
Well, what's good, so a lot of schools want to teach robotics, and they want to do STEM and STEAM projects, and they'll take a robot kit and they'll put it in the middle of the classroom. Well, you can do that, and that's fine for some of the students who want to learn electrical or mechanical and coding and that type of thing. But what about the kids over here that don't want to have anything to do with that? They want to learn costuming, they want to learn painting, they want to learn sculpting, they want to learn CG modeling, graphics, and that type of thing. So animatronics kind of combines it all, because you have the art side of it, which is the A in STEAM, and then you have the science and technology, engineering, and math over here, which is part of the robotics. So it all goes together in a classroom, and it teaches the kids to work as a team, and it really makes it a complete picture. And as again I say, they all learn about different career paths, things that can spark their interest and say, hey, I didn't know that existed, but now that I do, that could be a career. I could be a CNC operator in a machine, and that's a great career. We have some here that do that as a permanent career, and they can't go engage in it as a career if they don't know it exists. Right.
So, please describe what a complete team looks like in the development of, a standard animatronic project.
Well, we have great group. As I say, there's so many different career paths in this building, in all the different areas, sculpture and plastics and mechanical and everything else. We have a team of professionals in each one, and they're all very talented people. I've got 75% employees, and they're the best in the world at what they do. And they've been with me for 25, 30 years, and they are very talented. We meet regularly on projects and discuss how projects are unfolding and how they're getting developed and how they process through the plant. And we actually try to take some of our curriculum for teaching students from that, because when kids build a animatronic figure in the classroom using our figure kits and so forth, we kind of have them follow the same path as they get built in real life.
Wow, that is remarkable. Can you share some of the more popular animatronic projects that you have completed that can be found around the world? Because I know you have projects everywhere, but where can people turn to or maybe remember and say, oh, I remember that, and kind of connect the dots to Garner Holt Productions?
Well, we've done so many of the major theme parks, and a lot of them don't really want us to, be too vociferous about what we've done. But I think that a lot of people see in the Disney and Universal parks, they see a lot of our work, and a lot of the major attractions there. It's no secret that we were involved in the cars in Radiator Springs and, figure the Matterhorn, Small World, and Nemo, Mermaid, Monsters, all these different attractions. But at the same time, we probably one of the most popular things that we've ever done for kids is Chuck E. Cheese. We've built over 555 Chuck E. Cheese restaurant shows worldwide, and that's a lot of mice, So,
Where are they? We got to catch them now.
yeah. So, yeah, our two biggest clients are mice, Mickey and Chucky. Who'd have thought, But anyhow, yeah, but kids that come in here and find out we built Chuck E. Cheese, they're like, oh, it's, Chuck E. Cheese. Everybody's been to Chuck E. Cheese. But we've built over 5,000 characters in around 35 different countries, and it's been an amazing ride.
That is remarkable. So share with us a timeline, right? Because we see the finished product as at Chuck E. Cheese or at Disneyland with Mickey, right? Each of the mice. And we see the beautiful culmination of multiple channels of work and effort. What does a standard timeline look like for the development of a new project?
Well, it just depends on if we've done it before, in a sense. If you come to us and say, build us a human character, we've built so many human characters that we have standard way of producing those, and we could build a human in a few months. If you said build us some tiki birds, we could do those in a couple of weeks because we built 1 million tiki birds. If you want a 40-foot dinosaur that's eating a Volkswagen, we can do that. We've done dinosaurs, but everything has its uniqueness. And some big major projects where we have to do very elaborate, very expensive figures can take up to 2 years. From the very start to the very finish. When they have to be installed, and everything else shipped overseas, installed. And a couple of years ago we worked in Germany and Beijing and China and Japan, and we just did Harry Potter show in Japan that just opened recently, and that was a year-long project here, building all the animatronics, and it all shipped over there, and we sent our people over there to install it. So they're quite elaborate shows, big productions.
Wow. So not only do you develop the animatronics themselves, but you also build out the displays that they're going to be housed in.
And scenery. Yeah, set and scenery. And, it could be rocks, trees, waterfalls, special effects, fireworks, smoke, all kinds of projected effects, all kinds of crazy things that we put into an attraction, ghost effects or audio systems, lighting systems. You name it.
Do you have a favorite? Do you have one that just,
Attraction?
Yes.
Well, as the attraction that we've actually worked on and been involved with is the Disney's Haunted Mansion. We got to come in. I was telling you about how I dreamed about the Haunted Mansion was the sea that started this whole thing at Disneyland. And then years later, in 2001, I came in and turned it into the Haunted Mansion Holiday, which is the Nightmare Before Christmas with Jack Skellington.
Yeah.
And, Disney developed that show and asked us to provide the animatronics and sets and scenery and things for that show. And then we did it also again for Tokyo Disneyland. And so that was kind of a favorite because that's really one of the first times that Disney had an outside company build high-end animatronics for a classic attraction. So getting to work in that attraction after having dreamed about it as a pre-teenager was kind of surreal, getting to follow my dream come true.
Right. That is amazing. And I love that your parents gave you the space to literally, right, the garage, the home garage to express that and play and create something to what we see here today. And not only here, but all over the world.
I was a persistent kid, and I was an only child, and they kind of gave me a lot of things. I think a lot of leeway. I think they felt kind of bad that they didn't have any brothers or sisters, and they kind of let me develop little things. And I think that they saw that I was doing positive things. I was developing things, and I'd love to show my dad the things that I'd make. And I think that they saw that I wasn't goofing off and causing trouble. I was doing something fun. So, that, and I thank them for that. I thank them for letting me follow my path, my dream. Because I know a lot of kids that have parents that haven't let them do that, and some of them are miserable. They've gone down career paths that they really didn't want to, and they're not happy, and I think that's sad.
You're absolutely right. So please tell us about the level of immersion you're able to take viewers to when interacting with your displays, with your sets, with your animatronics.
Well, we're always trying to develop a way to make attractions better. And, just like, the theme park industry is competitive, and it's, it's like the roller coaster part of it. It's like every time you hear of a new roller coaster, it's 10 foot higher than the last one, and so we need to make things better all the time. So we want attractions. When you go on a theme park attraction, it's almost like you're stepping into a movie. You're stepping into a movie set. You're stepping into a story. You're becoming an actor or an engaged participant in that story. You're immersed in the story, and you start following this timeline, and the story unfolds before you. And there's danger, and there's excitement, and there's drama, and there's happiness, and there's fun, and you kind of follow this line, and you kind of like living in a movie. So the more immersive, the more interactive we can make it, the more something where you feel like you're really engaged. You feel like you're in real danger. The dinosaur comes out, and he could really eat me alive. You want them to feel all these emotions, and that's what we strive to do: make figures better and better, and scenes better and better, and new concepts better and better, to really tell stories and engage people and make sure they're entertained and immersed in an environment that you can't get at home by watching your TV.
Right. You're actually living in the moment.
Right side of three-dimensional space that, a story, movie.
And so what would you turn to, or what comes to mind when you think of the most immersive project that you've worked on to date?
Oh, well, there's so many attractions that we've worked on that do have an immersive feeling. They've been very successful. I mean, there's Symbolica ride in Efteling, and in Netherlands, there's the Pirates in Batavia and in Germany, Disney attractions. Some of them very immersive. Some of the best are ones that I never was old enough to be involved in. Like, still to this day, I don't think anything's ever beat the Pirates of the Caribbean right here in Anaheim. As a great attraction. We just. And everything's different. They're all different. They all have different aspects to them that different feeling and a different feel to them. And it's that diversity and that, engagement, and it allows you to, feel different things in different rides for different characters. A lot of them are built on IPs, characters that are, like Frozen or, Mermaid or things like that. And, you go in already liking those characters and already liking that story. So you want to kind of have the story unfold to where you're part of that story. And you feel good because you like those characters, So, but yeah, we have fun. It's hard to pin down any one thing that, because they're all fantastic. We all enjoy what we do.
I love it. So it sounds like basically if we go to Disneyland, everything we see that moves, including, I'm guessing, the tiki birds and the tiki lounge.
We've done some tiki birds, but I wouldn't say everything you see that moves. I mean, a lot of the stuff that we've done, but, in places like that, we're very fortunate to be able to do a lot of cool stuff, but they are a great client. They do a lot of things internally and have always done. We're very fortunate to be a vendor for them to supply things and them and Disney and other parks as well, but
Perfect. Thank you so much. We're hitting on a break now. All right, everybody. Yvette Walker here with ABC News and Talks Southern California Business Report, here today with Garner Holt, founder and president of Garner Holt Productions Incorporated, talking about his gateway to realms of incredible imagination, artistry, technical wizardry, experienced industry experts, and unmatched proven quality, from creating the world's finest and most lifelike animatronic figures to design for themed attractions, museums, retail and restaurant locations, and more. Garner Holt Productions is the most complete design and production workshop in the world. when we return.
Cal State San Bernardino is home to the only school of entrepreneurship in California. With globally ranked degree programs, you can start your journey today to become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more and connect at entre.csusb.edu.
Hi, Ray Lance from the Diamond Center in the Claremont Village here. One of the coolest parts of a third-generation family business is getting to know the families we serve through generations. Once you experience our friendly service, our fair and transparent pricing, and our beautiful jewelry that we make to last a lifetime, you'll stick with us too. Come visit us in the Claremont Village or at Lantz, L-A-N-T-Z, diamondcenter.com and see what makes us different.
Ontario International Airport is onto a better way to fly with over 65 daily nonstop flights to more than 20 major destinations and the easiest airport experience in Southern California. Visit Fly onto. The University of La Verne is rated first in California for alumni satisfaction. Learn more about accelerated programs offered online and on campus in La Verne, Irvine, Ontario, Burbank, or College of the Canyons. Visit go.laverne.edu. The University of La Verne. go.laverne.edu.
Here with ABC News and Talk Southern California Business Report with Garner Holt, founder and president of Garner Holt Productions, Inc., talking about his gateway to realms of incredible imagination, artistry, technical wizardry, experienced industry experts, and unmatched proven quality. From creating the world's finest and most lifelike animatronic figures to design for themed attractions, museums, retail, and restaurants, locations, and more. Garner Holt Productions is the most complete design and production workshop in the world. Thank you again for being with us today, Garner.
Be with you.
Beautiful. So prior to the break, we were talking a little bit about the background of Garner Holt Productions, where we can find some of the projects, which is basically all over the world, throughout all the major theme parks, and talked a little bit about the different elements that exist within the animatronics design and build process. Please talk about Garner Holt Foundation today. You have developed it to engage the next generation of animatronics, engineers, artists, and production artists. So please expand on that.
Well, as I mentioned earlier about the education department, we developed Garner Holt Education Through Imagination to create a new kind of shop class in the world, a STEM shop class that uses animatronics to educate kids in a STEAM fashion, and those are a new modern shop class that has all kinds of incredible equipment, laser cutters and 3D printers and CNC machines and all this type of thing. And kids can learn all these things and learn to build animatronics in these shop classes. Most of the traditional shop classes went away, and that's what I was raised on. That's what really gave me my skills, because I never went to college or anything. I basically was, developed through shop classes in high school. And so the Garner Holt Foundation, so we sell these shop classes called Animaker Spaces to schools, and we're doing that all over the country. And we have a number in the Inland Empire here, and it's really steamrolling. It's like great. It's snowballing to all over these schools. And so what we wanted to do with the foundation is create a place. We thought, well, what about the kids locally in some of these local areas that don't have an Animaker Space? So we wanted to start a kind of a community-based makerspace called an Animaker Space that would educate kids, allow foster kids and underserved kids and everything to come in, create, to be able to figure out how to build an animatronic figure and use all these machines and learn a whole bunch of career paths and at no cost. just be able to come in and use the equipment and invent things, just
Right.
like I wish I would have had that when I was a kid in the garage, right?
Exactly.
And so that's what the foundation then also provides scholarships to kids and students. And it also, the foundation takes animatronic kits around that we make, little bugs and birds and things, and we take them around to hospitals, even like Loma Linda Children's Hospital. And we have seminars all day where the kids come in and get to build these little bugs and things. When they roll some of these kids in and they're in carts and they have these tubes in their arms and things like that, they're not smiling. They're not having a good day being in a hospital.
Right.
And they come in and they build the bugs, and the bugs like fight each other and they have fun with them. And they go out with a smile on their faces, and we're glad that we can contribute to that through Family Service Foundation and the hospitals and all that. So that's what the foundation does. Just brings animatronics to kids. They can't normally afford it, to foster kids and things. And this brings the fun of animatronics and building birds and fun stuff, and just brings it to them and doesn't cost them a dime.
I love it. And in these animaker spaces in schools, please talk about what one can find in one of these spaces. What are the standard equipment that we can see?
Well, so, when I was in high school, I had welding and shop classes like wood shop, metal shop, and drafting and art, sculpting, and all of these things. And that really formed my ability to do what I do today. I never went to college. A lot of kids will never go to college, but there's so many careers out there that you can learn. And when you have an animaker space in the school, when you build an animated tiki bird using our animaker space and all the machines, there's no machine in the room that gets cobwebs on it. There's laser cutters and 3D printers and CNC machines and vacuum formers and all kinds of different high-tech equipment. And they can do SolidWorks and CAD systems and all this kind of stuff. So they build the tiki bird and they program it and they do the coding and they do all the electronics and they do the mechanical. When they do that, they learn about 25 different career paths. And, you can't, there's some really great careers like CNC machining. And we have a couple CNC machinists here. That's a great career. Well, kids don't know it's a career if they never heard of it.
Right.
So we show them what it is. They experience it building their bird. And so they say, hey, I want to do that someday. That's a lot of fun. I want to do that as a career someday. So it's all about teaching career paths. It's all about giving kids hope for the future and giving them an idea that, wow, there's all kinds of fun stuff we can do. And the art kids can do painting and costuming and voiceover work and script writing and storytelling. And we have animatronic figures in the classroom that they can play with and take apart and put together. Animaker Space is a wonderful place, and we want to get this in many schools as we possibly can.
I love it. And that's the key, right, is exposure. And at that age, that's the age where, children, young adolescents are developing, their idea of what they want to do in the future. And they're really limited to what they're exposed to. The more they're exposed, the more options they have.
I went into one Animaker Space recently, and the teacher walked me over, and they're these two little kids, and they practically come up to my belt line, and they have lab coats on, and they're programming a screen on a laser cutter, and they're standing there and they're talking about it, programming it, and they're this tall. And the teacher leaned over and they said, these kids know how to work this thing better than I do. And that's the teacher telling them. And, just to see, when I was that age, I was still playing with sticks and mud, you know what I mean? These kids are programming laser cutters. This is amazing that they can have
the technology,
the ability to touch and operate these machines, and it blossoms out into their future.
Absolutely. I mean, can you imagine? You started off with string and wood pieces, and look at what you've built. Imagine what they're going to build with laser cutters, programming and coding at that age.
Absolutely. I wish I had one all when I was a kid.
Right? Exactly. So are the kits that you're talking about, are they available to the public, or are they strictly available through the foundation?
Well, through the kits and ETI, when we get into schools, we provide the schools with kits. We have some consumer product kits that are coming out at the end of the year, which will be the first time that you can build a complete animated figure on your kitchen table and program it. And it'll be Tiki Bird. You can have your own Tiki show, and you can buy a bunch of birds and hook them all together and build them all and put on a whole show with animatronics. And we're going to have that at the end of the year. So, all that will be available if anybody looks at GarnerHolt.com or GarnerHoltFoundation.org. They'll be able to find all these kits and fun stuff that they can build.
That's amazing. So, with that, are there tutorials or resources on how-tos on the development and on these projects for Garner Holt?
Absolutely. If you enjoy it, if you join our animatronics club, you're able to get in and see all the tutorials to build the figures, and then you can also see seminars that are taught by people who build rides and attractions all over the world. Not just us, but some amazing people that are other companies that build things. It's going to be an amazing way to have kids tune in on different platforms and look at what we're doing and learn about what we're doing, and get excited about it for the future.
I love it. So how can we join the animatronics club?
Well, that's going to happen pretty soon too. So just keep watching GarnerHolt.com. You'll find out.
Stay tuned. You heard it. That's how you're going to learn how to join the animatronics club. I want to join. It sounds so exciting.
We have a lot of stuff. If you look up Garner Holt Productions on YouTube, you'll see a lot of our figures, a lot of our expressive head face technology, a lot of our robot technology, and a lot of types of things. So we have a whole bunch of projects that are on YouTube out there.
Oh, that is so exciting. Please talk about your animaker space and if there's an opportunity for the public to engage and actually come and experience one of these animaker spaces.
Well, our first Garner's Garage, which is the community-based animaker space, will be available sometime beginning of next year. Where a foundation has been gathering funds to build the first one here in Redlands, and then we're hoping to have more community-based animaker spaces out in the world soon. In other communities, that are interested in having them. But, in addition to schools, we've been putting animaker space in libraries. There's over in Fontana here and a couple other places. There's Lewis Library, a couple of others. And we have animaker spaces that give kids the world in Florida, which is a place where they bring kids who have illnesses and things, and they get to build kits and birds there. So there are more and more places that you can see an animaker space or engage in one all over the place. And a lot of kids are getting to do it right now.
I love it. So you mentioned a lot about, kind of the community rallying other stakeholders within the community. Please talk about the importance of the support, of the collaboration to really elevate and bring these experiences and opportunities to the next generation.
Well, we like to collaborate with communities and community leaders and things, and that's why we reach out to like Family Service Organization, and we also reach out to places like the Loma Linda Children's Hospital and that. And we're continuing to expand, and we want to get into more children's hospitals and things as we grow. We want to continue to do things that it isn't a lot of effort. When people see what we're doing, if they come down here to shop and they come into our education facility and they see what we're doing, they're not reluctant to join us. They want to learn more about what we do, and they're, as a community base, they want to have us, offer what we offer to the community, and let the kids engage in it, because it's kind of a unique thing, and there's not a lot of it out there like this.
Right. I mean, it sounds so dynamic, so new, always something different and engaging, and something for everybody, right? So if you're left-brained or right-brained, there's a place for you here.
Yeah, and then instead of having it go off and be separate, we bring the brain sides together and put everybody in a room and say, look, everybody has a piece to work on here. Let's figure out how to work together, and let's see what teamwork is, and let's learn to work as a team.
That is remarkable. I love that. So what advice do you have for those that are interested in, pursuing a career in animatronics, exploring this field?
Well, there are so many trades in animatronics that are not, like college educated, are more in plastics, that type of thing, but there are also things that you can do in electronics. You can be a mechanical engineer. If you do go to college, you can become an electrical engineer. You can be all kinds of different things. But the biggest thing is, people say to me all the time, how do I get to work here? And, it's, do I have to have a degree? Do I have to do this, have that? Like, you know what? I can tell just by, if somebody's intelligent and they have enough passion to want to do this. And, people say I'll work for free if I could, just to be in this building and play with these things, and you find out really quick if somebody's serious. If they're really serious and they're halfway intelligent and trained to do anything, I have people working here that have surprising backgrounds that knew nothing about what we do, and now they're some of the best in the world at what we do.
That is amazing. Garner, can I ask you, are your parents here with us today?
No, my parents both passed about 10 years ago, and they got to see this place in a good way, and they were proud of what was going on here, and they were fine with me not being a veterinarian. My dad wanted me to be a veterinarian so I could fix horses, and I told him, I said, well, I don't just fix them, I build them to begin with, and make animated horses. And so he was very happy with. They were happy with the way it all turned out.
You're a different kind of doctor of horses, right? More engineered type.
Yeah.
Please share one of your favorite employee-based stories during your time developing Garner Holt Productions.
Well, we've had so many wonderful stories of people that have learned the trade here, and I have some employees that are been here 25, 30 years, and from the very beginning. And it goes back to where they say, you need to have a degree or something to work here. One of my favorite stories is a young lady by the name of Patty. She, Hispanic lady. We had about 18 years ago, we had a janitorial service, and they came in and took care of the shop at night, and then they leave. And it wasn't part of our company, it was another company. And after about a year, we let them go for some reason. We had to move on to a different company, and a couple of weeks later, she showed up in the lobby, and I said, "I know you. You barely could speak English." And she says, "Oh, I just love what I see here, but I don't know how to do anything. And is there any way that I could get involved?" And I said, "Well, we just happen to have an opening in plastics. It's the dirtiest job in the world. It's filing, and you go home, there's stuff all over you. You get stuff in your, itchy, it's not a fun job." She says, "I don't care. I'll do anything to work here." So we put her to work, and she learned how to do fiberglass in about 2 years. She was excelled at fiberglass. Then we put her on silicone molds, and she ended up with a couple of years there, did silicone molds, excelled at silicone molds, urethane molds, matrix molds, year after year, got better and better and better. So probably about 12 years after she started, she was doing some of the most complex molds in the shop. And she started working in skins, to where we do all the figure skins, that you see in dinosaur skins and dragon skins and giant skins that weigh 1,000 pounds. And she now runs the skin shop, which we call skin engineering. And she's like a chemist. She mixes chemicals and mixes skin, pours it, pumps it through. She's considered one of the best skin fabricators in the world by us, Disney, and everybody.
Oh, wow.
She's one of the best in the world. She did it all on her own. Just followed her path of learning, and just said, "I'm just going to get better and better and better," until she was the best. And she still is. And she's here, and that's what she does for us.
I love it. When you talk about just applying yourself, focusing on something that really fulfills you, you can really do anything regardless of where you start in life. And I love that. You
have some passion, and you need to care about what you're doing. You need to decide that you're going to forge ahead and not be lazy. You just got to forge ahead and make it work for yourself, and always, and just do something that, always enjoy what you do in your life. Don't do something that just, people try to do things just for the sake of making money.
Right.
And money doesn't make you happy. I don't care what anybody says.
Yes.
Everybody wants to be an instant millionaire. This is not going to happen. Everybody wants to win the lottery. It's not going to happen. You need to forge ahead with passion at what your passion is, and then make a career for yourself.
Absolutely. I love that. And so can you please tell us a little bit about the gentleman standing behind us today?
Well, you just happened to hit us on a holiday here. This is a Yeti. This is kind of a Yeti creature we built for project years ago. Our employees have a habit of dressing him up for any holiday. So obviously being, he's Dracula here for the holiday. And there are a number of characters behind me here, just parts of different projects that we've done over the years in different parks and things. The Oogie Boogie right behind me there is the original sculpture for Oogie Boogie in the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
Oh, wow. So this was the prototype, the first.
Yes, the first prototype.
The first one.
Yeah.
Wow, that is amazing. So do you see Garner Holt making the jump from animatronics to robotics?
Well, what we do is kind of robots with, so you take a robot, a humanoid robot, you put clothes on it, you put skins on it, you make it talk and perform and do whatever it does. It's a robot underneath, in a sense we build. But we don't really do industrial robots. We like to have fun with what we do with the entertainment world, We don't do a lot in the movie business, although we are in some movies, like Westworld and, things like that. We've done work in. But, for the most part, we like the entertainment part and like the education part, and maybe more into robotics through the education that might happen.
That's remarkable. And please talk about the feedback that you've heard from the members of the community, from students, from, patients at hospitals. I can imagine that the feedback and possibly letters and calls and messages.
Oh, people just get so excited about this because, a lot of parents see their kids, build these birds, these animated tiki birds and things. And the kids just have a really good time because it gives them, so many kids sit around nowadays and sit on their bed and basically play games on their phone, and they're just doing this all the time. I've had kids walk into our classes, our Animakerspace classes, and they'll say, we're going to take a Phillips screwdriver out. And they're like, well, what is a screwdriver? What is a pair of pliers? They don't have a clue. They've never held a tool in their life, And there's, I grew up using my hands to build things, and there are kids that don't have a clue. And the parents get engaged with them. Our tiki birds that we're going to sell as a consumer product, and that's something that you can have the whole family sit there and help build, and we have little seminars over here where we build birds and things, and we get the parents to come in, and the parents will come in and help their kids, and it's a great thing to kind of bond. Grandparents will come in and their help, and it's a great thing to get everybody bonded together, and while they're all learning together, and even our teachers that teach the projects, they learn things from the kids. The kids, everybody learns from everybody.
I love that. So it's like a micro animatronics team, right?
Yeah. We've even taken them to like a juvenile hall type situation, detention centers, and had kids put them together there, and it's through a special arrangement, and you'd be shocked to see how it changes the attitude of a child that is there for the criminals that are young, and that changes their whole outlook on life, and they get to build something, and they can work together as a team, and they're not used to working with people, and they've had unfortunate lives, and it makes them feel good, and it gives them some hope for the future. I've had a kid come up one time and was incarcerated, and she says, someday I'm going to get out, and as soon as I get out, I'm going to put in an application to your shop.
I love it.
I said, do it.
Do it. Yes. Yeah. Expand their horizons, give them an opportunity to experience something than what they're used to, right?
Sure. Yes.
I love that. And so please share what you're most excited about as you look into the future of animatronics, and, what is the best way to follow your work?
Well, we continue to raise the bar. We continue to want to, we strive to be the best in the business, and we're the largest in the world at what we do. We're the best. We feel we do a fabulous job for everybody. We have, some of the major theme park producers I'm talking about are in this building today. Even, we're doing projects all over the world, and we just want to be the best quality, and we don't do a lot of marketing because most of our customers just keep coming back. We don't have to grow a lot because they just experience it and they come back. They know we're going to do a good job. We're not at risk because we do a good job. And the education thing, that's something that is kind of a legacy thing for me. Doing this factory of animatronics for 46 years. I always kind of wondered, what's my future going to be? As the clock keeps ticking, and I want to build education. I want to develop and have other people enjoy animatronics as much as I have. And so I'm enjoying bringing it to the kids, bringing it to the parents, bringing it to schools. And it's kind of moving in that direction. That's kind of where this is all going to end up,
Yeah. And so what do you see in the next 5 to 10 years for Garner Holt Productions?
Just what I said, focus on education, focus on the foundation. We're going to keep building stuff here. I mean, we just keep getting jobs to build animatronics for projects, and it's fun and we love it. It's different, it's unique, it's diverse, everything's different. We're building stuff this moment that we've never built before. We have stuff that we're building all the time. Every time a new show comes out, that a movie or something, I mean, somebody will build a ride about it, and we'll end up doing it. But it's just a diverse thing. It's something unique and unusual. It changes every day. The secretary at the front desk, if you called her up and said, I want a giant brontosaurus, and that's doing this, this, and this, and it's pink, and it has whiskers and everything. She'd say, well, let me connect you to the person that handles the brontosauruses. You know what I mean? It's like you just never. Everybody's like they're used to the most unusual requests around here, and that's what makes it fun. That's what makes it enjoyable.
I love it. So no request that is too unconceivable, right?
Well, we've turned down quite a few because sometimes they get a little carried away, and we'll do anything that's. I used to tell everybody, we'll make boots for roosters if you pay us enough to do it, but a lot of times people come up with things that are how much would it cost to make me a girlfriend? It's like, well, no,
we're not that kind of
no,
animatronics.
But other than that, we pretty much do almost anything. I tell people, you got enough time and you got the money, we can build you anything.
I love it. Well, it's incredible. We're getting actually to the time, but thank you so much for making the time to share your story and your remarkable work in animatronics, not only for, private projects, but for the public, for education, and for our juveniles as well, right? That are caught up in a system that hopefully gives them an opportunity to pause and be exposed to opportunities like the ones that you're providing as well. Thank you so much for that, Garner.
It's all about hope and education, and get them out there in the world and get them jobs.
I love it. Thank you so much
for having me.
Thank you. All right, everybody, everyone who's listening today, don't forget to find us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Instagram. What's happening? The 44th Annual Inland Empire Estate Planning Seminar taking place tomorrow, November 1st, 1 to 6 p.m. at the Riverside Convention Center. Visit iestateplanningseminar.org or call 909-734-1554 for more information. Don't forget, CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocates of San Bernardino County for Children in the Foster Care System, will be conducting a casino night fundraiser with honorary speaker Jason Anderson, District Attorney of San Bernardino County, on Thursday, November 2nd at Upland Hills Country Club, located at 1231 East 16th Street in Upland. Tickets are $125. Call 909-402-3318 or email Diane at casaofsb.org for more information. Don't miss my interview with Leslie Sherwood James, a lifelong resident of the Inland Empire. She's currently the Vice President of the Ontario Museum of History and Art Associates. A Pitzer College graduate with a degree in American Studies, James is an enthusiastic volunteer at both the museum and San Antonio Regional Hospital. Her focus is on enhancing the community and acting as a liaison between organizations and the people they serve. Next week, we will have Diane Smyers with CASA, Court-Appointed Special Advocate for Children in the Foster Care System of San Bernardino County, heading the Donor Relations Department. Her overall work has been focused on sharing CASA's mission and vision, developing community and individual partnerships to increase giving and donations to CASA. Diane began her career with CASA in the Community Outreach Department, recruiting and training community volunteers to mentor and advocate for youth in foster care in San Bernardino County, leading marketing and giving campaigns, focusing her efforts in the West End of San Bernardino. You do not want to miss it. We will see you next week.